any more children in the future. With other wives, Garrick would like to have more children, but not with me. This shop is closed. I got my boobs tied.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really inclined to believe that, to be honest with you, because you see, when it comes to Garrick and Garrick and Dannielle, what comes out of their mouth for the most part is very. Let's just say this: I always take it with a pinch of salt. Let's continue.
But again, they say that there's a rare day. Kind of.
My parents aren't, but yours are.
Mine are. At first, they weren't. They struggled a little bit.
Not your dad.
My mom did. I should say my mom struggled a little bit. We had a lot of discussions back and forth.
My dad's very logical on searching out the Bible. I was like, well, there's nothing wrong with this.
And I think my mom had passwords from her previous marriage before my dad. Yeah, I'm okay.
I do find it quite interesting though how, you know, these parents aren't exactly happy with the lifestyle that the son has chosen. But weirdly, Dannielle's parents are okay with it. I mean, it kind of explains certain things about Dannielle's character. The fact that Dannielle's character is okay with it explains why she's okay with it. Do you know what I mean? Because clearly there's something that's in their family that they're more than happy to go along with X, Y, Z. You know, because really and truly, sometimes our behavior is a reflection of how we were raised. It's a reflection of who raised us. It's a reflection of who our role models are, who we look up to. And the fact that Dannielle decided to agree to live this lifestyle that Garrick asked for, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? But hey, very interesting that his family's not aboard.
And it's going to sound like you're vacuuming again for a coffee maker. So yeah, my mom had, I think she went through a lot in her first marriage, and she just wanted to make sure that I was loved and cared about. And let's see what else. Okay, so this is another one. I touched on this last week, but it's like somebody like Cody from Sister Wives that it didn't work out for them. But I feel like it's kind of like a mute point, because that's like saying like in monogamous relationships, if somebody gets divorced, that means marriage just doesn't work, right? Because people get divorced in monogamy. But that's not true. I feel like in any relationship, there's struggles, there's trials, there's things you have to work through, and some relationships work and some don't. And so yeah, that's my take on that. I feel like Cody and his wife had a great thing for a long time. I watched that show for a long time, since I think I started watching it when I was a senior in high school. They've been on for they were like 17 seasons, I think, something like that. But I think that they had a lot of bonds, but I think that, you know, it's a lot of work. Any relationship's a lot of work, you know, and things happen. Let's see what else. Why you seem to look in Brazil versus America. We are open to wherever. It's just that's the people that we've connected with, and you know, everything happens for a reason. We could care less if they were whatever country they were in. If they were in France, you know, wherever, we're open to that.
I don't know why they go live. This is the second time now they've gone live with a significant amount of noise in the background. The first time they went live, last time they went live, they had the TV in the background. Obviously because of their little baby girl, which I understand, but at the same time, why not go live, you know, when maybe she's sleeping, I'm not too sure. And in this one here, they've gone live whilst Dannielle's parents are in the house and doing a whole lot of ruckus in the background. Why not go live at a time when it's peaceful, so therefore your audience can actually hear you properly, you know, not have to like really listen in to see what the hell you're saying. Honestly, she's so inconsiderate. They're both inconsiderate with when they choose to go live. I'm just saying, because it's freaking annoying.
Would you want this lifestyle for your kids? I want what God wants for my kids. I think God's written all of our stories the end from the beginning, and He knows what we need in our lives. And if that's what God has called it to, I'll be very happy. And if not, I'll be very happy too. So quiet down. How do you feel about this for your daughter? Do you think she's truly happy?
Yes, she is. She's truly happy. Yeah, they get Garrick and Dannielle get along just fine. You know, his wife's family stuff, and any family that comes up, but they get along very well.
He's seen us through the years. But you know, his opinion could be biased, because I think that since I married Garrick, him and Garrick are, it's like Garrick's his dad, or he's Garrick's dad. They're better friends. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, we get along really well.
They get along really well. Let's see, why you allow Garrick to brainwash your daughter? Oh my God. Sorry, that is
nice to laugh at that, but it's just we hear a lot of that, and you know, if you know the family and just how we get along really well together, it makes me laugh. No offense, but it makes me laugh.
A part of me felt as if like she brought her dad into the live stream purely because you know, she wanted her dad to also, you know, tell us that, hey, what the lifestyle that they live in is completely fine, and Garrick did not manipulate her, and you know, this isn't because of Garrick, this is a choice that they both made, blah-de-da-de-da-de-da, literally bringing him in for like extra validation to their lifestyle. I'm not saying that was the agenda, but that's exactly how it felt. But and also the answers that the dad was given were very logical answers, very political answers, shall I say, you know what I mean? Very calculated answers.
You know, because my dad, I think my dad knows me. I'm a strong person. I think he gave me that. I definitely want to live for God and do what's right. So, when you say I'm not easily swayed.
No, she's not easily swayed. No. Yeah, I remember back when she was a teenager and she was struggling with going to church, and so I just sat next to her on the bed and I said, I understand. I just said, if you don't want, it was a night she didn't really want to go to church, and I said, well, I understand, that's fine. I said, I'm not going to force you. I said, I just pray that God, God guides and directs you, and but you don't have to be going to church in that night. I said, just give you a chance to think and pray about things. So
I remember that. I think it was a turning point in my life because I felt always forced to go to church. I had to do it, and then my dad said that to me, and I was shocked. I was like, okay. And I think I didn't go to church for like a month, and my mom was very upset. She's like, why don't you just make her go?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, my wife, she says, oh, she needs to go. She needs to go. And I said, you just can't force that issue. You got to be something that God does
in your heart,
puts in your heart. Yeah, exactly.
So I think it was a good month, and then during that time, God really worked on my heart. It was like a turning point in my walk with God, I think, because it made me realize that my dad was gonna let what God wanted to happen, and he wasn't gonna force it. And so it made my relationship with God better and made me want to serve God. And so I guess that's why God gives us two parents, not one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously going to church in the end and believing in God and XYZ definitely turned out for the best for you, didn't it? In the long run. That's not me, that's not me insulting God. What I'm trying to say is that now she's in a position where she uses the words that allegedly God said, or the words that allegedly in the Bible, to glorify why she's in this lifestyle that has not even been working out for them. Let's not forget that too, they talk about how God, brought them to this lifestyle, but yet the lifestyle hasn't even happened yet. They've had a failed attempt to Roberta, and Natalia right now looks like it's been a failed attempt thus far. Hey. And also on top of that, she was a Christian, obviously started to go to church, and now you don't even go to church anymore because of the lifestyle that you've chosen. So I'm very interested to see how you went from, oh, I don't even want to go to church, and then go in church and be like, oh yeah, God found me, and then now you're here, where you don't even actually go to God's home, which is obviously can be subjective, of course, but you get my point.
Right. Are your parents religious? My parents, I grew up in a Christian family, a Christian home. We went to a non-denominational church, and my parents raised me that way and believing in the Bible. And I went to the same church pretty much my whole life until Garrick and I moved back here to Colorado. I met Garrick at the church too.
True.
And please speak up. I'm sorry. Is my volume? Oh, my volume's not all the way up there. Sorry about that. Okay. So I grew up that way, and my parents just honestly wanted me to, I think, have good morals and values and beliefs, and be a good woman. How did you guys settle on wanting 5 wives? We touched on that one last week too, but go ahead, babe.
I don't think we've ever settled on anything. I mean, I'm more than happy with one wife. It's whatever adds and benefits the family, we're open to. And the reason we even thought about that, I had a dream years ago about I was an older man, probably late 60s, and there was 4 wives, and they were like all best friends, all happy, loving each other. I was kind of like in the dream, like just shocked how close and how the friendship was with them, and they cared for each other. There was like no jealousy. There was no like, I deserve this, deserve that. They just loved and supported each other so much, and and they were teasing me and harassing me, like, because a 5th wife came and she was younger, and they were like teasing me and harassing me about being romantic because I was going on my honeymoon, and they were like packing my suitcase and getting me ready to go on the honeymoon, and they were like prep talking me, like it was funny. So we just whether it's 1 or 5, it doesn't matter. It's whatever God has and whatever's good for the family, really.
Yeah, whoever's a good fit. We're not adding to add. It's not like a cult. We're wanting.
You're not adding to add, but yet you are actually actively out there on once upon a time 10 different apps. You're not adding. You're not adding to add. You are literally adding to add. But okay.
What God has for our family, and if it's a good fit, and Garrick, wants all the ways to have a connection and get along, and obviously that would be not very peaceful for him if we didn't.
Meanwhile, you barely even make an effort to try and get along with. Well, let me not say that Dannielle doesn't make the effort, but meanwhile, Dannielle just struggles to get along with the wives. But yeah, okay. Okay, preach what you say.
And so
it can take time.
Yeah.
But that has to be the point, like, loving and growing together in love.
Yep.
Because every relationship, whether it's friendship, marriage, there's a lot of difficult things in life. Life's hard, really hard. So, are you going to work through it and love each other? And I think that's the key to anything in life. And unfortunately, I think today that's kind of lost. We don't work through everything and love each other.
I think people are kind of selfish nowadays. If you're not happy, then they just want to give up and not work through it. And it's like, that's not what love is about. Love is about sacrifice and preferring others before yourself. And if you do that, you end up having a deeper love and a more powerful connection, I think.
When you find people are usually unhappy because they're unhappy in themselves, it has nothing to do with people. We look at Jesus was being crucified, killed, mocked, ridiculed, and yet, you know, he's praying for people.
That didn't change what he did.
It didn't change who he was and where he got his happiness and peace from. And, you know, I think that's, people think people or things will make them happy, but nothing's going to make you happy unless it's the presence of God. And within yourself, you've addressed yourself. Usually people, that's why you got so many haters online and you got in the world, and that's promoted, is because it's just natural for humans. They love to look at other people and not address themselves. And you're unhappy, you're mad, you're angry within yourself, and then you see certain things in other people and you like to attack them. But that's where Jesus said, take the beam out of your eye first, and then if there's even a reason to go to your brother, fellow man, you'll see clearly. But most people just don't like that because it's easy to attack people, and it's hard to deal with yourself. But, you know, that's just the way it is. It's not going to change. It's been there since 2,000 years ago, and that's just the way people are. That's why you love people, despite that, despite their hate or attacks or things they say to you, you know, because you realize, you know, you're sad for.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, that is pretty much all the interesting parts of the most recent live. You know, one thing that I've learned, well, one of the main things that I've learned from watching this couple is that whenever they go live, people should really probably not ask Garrick any of the questions. Because you know is how when you ask him a question, he literally gives you a whole freaking story. I mean, even Dannielle looked bored for it. Do you know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't yawning because I was bored of him necessarily. I was yawning because I'm actually just really tired. I'm so fatigued right now, so I do apologize for that. You know what I mean? Didn't mean to do that in a rude manner. But either way, though, they continue to still do what they do best, and that is pretty much trying to find ways to justify and validate their lifestyle. Even though, even as going as far as bringing in Dannielle's father into the conversation. Now they did ask the mom to come in, Dannielle's mother, but she said no. But apparently, that Dannielle has got plans to try and convince her mom to be on the show at some point. You know, or to be on this, what do you call it, on the Instagram lives. And I guess she's going to be another part of, you know, justifying and validating the life that their daughter has now chosen to have. But here's the thing, though. Let's not get twisted, though. The lifestyle isn't the issue. It's just the fact that this man, Garrick, literally comes across as if he has been the one that has manipulated Dannielle. And then Dannielle comes across as if she's just become delusional to just anything and everything. But nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.